The sounds produced in our environment have many different frequencies. The sounds of all the frequencies cannot be heard by the human beings. For example, if the frequency of a sound is less than 20 Hz, it cannot be heard by human beings. And if the frequency of the sound is greater than 20,000 Hz, even then it cannot be heard by the human beings. Thus, a human ear cannot hear sounds of frequency less than 20 Hz and more than 20,000 Hz. The human ear can hear sounds having frequencies of 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. The range of frequencies from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz is known as the frequency range of hearing in humans. The sound which we are able to hear is called the audible sound. So we can only say that the audible range of sound frequencies for human ear is from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. The sounds of frequencies lower than 20 Hz are known as infrasonic sounds or just infrasound. Thus, infrasonic sounds are very low frequency sounds. Infrasonic sounds cannot be heard by human beings. Infrasonic sounds are produced by those objects which vibrate very slowly. For example, a vibrating simple pendulum produces infrasonic sound. We cannot hear the sound of the vibrating simple pendulum because it vibrates with a frequency less than 20 Hz. Earthquakes are and some animals like whales, elephants, and rhinoceros are also produce infrasonic sounds. Rhinoceros communicate with one another by using infrasonic sound having a frequency as low as 5 Hz. It is observed that some animals get disturbed and start running here and there just before the earthquake occurs. This is because before the main shock waves, the earthquakes produce low frequency infrasonic sounds which some animals can hear and they get disturbed. The sounds of frequencies higher than 20,000 Hz are known as ultrasonic sound or just ultrasound. Thus, ultrasonic sounds are very high frequency sounds. Ultrasonic sounds cannot be heard by human beings. Though human beings cannot hear ultrasonic sounds, but dogs can hear ultrasonic sounds of frequency up to 50,000 Hz. This is the reason why dogs are used for detective work by the police. Bats, monkeys, deer, cats, dolphin, porpoises, and leopard can also hear ultrasonic sounds. Bats can hear ultrasonic sounds having frequency up to 1,20,000 Hz. In fact, bats can also produce ultrasonic sounds while screaming. We cannot hear the screams of a bat because its screams consist of ultrasonic sound having a frequency much higher than 20,000 Hz, which is beyond our limit of hearing. In addition to bats, dolphins, porpoises, and rats can also produce ultrasonic sounds as well as hear ultrasonic sounds. Children under the age of 5 years can hear ultrasonic sounds of frequency up to 25,000 Hz. As people grow older, their ears become less sensitive to sounds of higher frequencies. Ultrasonic sounds cannot be produced by ordinary vibrators like tuning forks. They are produced by special vibrators which can vibrate very rapidly. The sounds having too high frequency which cannot be heard by human beings are called ultrasonic sound or ultrasound. In other words, the sounds having frequency greater than 20,000 Hz are called ultrasound. For example, A sound of frequency 1 lakh hertz is an ultrasound. The ultrasound is reflected just like ordinary sound waves and produces echoes. But the echoes produced by ultrasound cannot be heard by our ears. They can only be detected by special equipment. Due to its very high frequency, ultrasound has a much greater penetrating power than ordinary sound. So, it can be used to detect objects under the sea and organs inside the human body. These days, ultrasound is used for a large number of purposes. Ultrasound waves are high energy sound waves. They travel in straight lines without bending around the corners. Ultrasound waves have a very high frequency and very short wavelength, due to which they can penetrate into matter to a large extent. Because of all these properties, ultrasound is used extensively in industry and in hospitals for medical purposes. Some of the important applications of ultrasound are given on the slide. Ultrasound is used in industry for detecting flaws or cracks in metal blocks without damaging them. Metal blocks are used in the construction of big structures like buildings, bridges, machines, and scientific equipment. There may be some flaws or defects, such as cracks or holes inside the metal blocks, which are invisible from outside. These flaws weaken the metal blocks. The use of such metal blocks having internal cracks or defects reduces the strength of the structure to be constructed. The flaws like internal cracks, etc., in the metal blocks are detected by using ultrasound. This is based on the fact that an internal crack or a hole does not allow ultrasound to pass through it. It reflects the ultrasound. This will become more clear from the following discussion. Ultrasound waves are made to pass through one face of the metal block to be tested, and ultrasound detectors are placed on the opposite side of the metal block to detect the transmitted ultrasound waves. If the ultrasound waves pass uninterrupted through all the parts of the metal block, then the metal block is flawless or defect free, having no internal cracks. However, ultrasound waves are not allowed to pass through a part of the metal block and get reflected back. Then there is a flaw or defect in the metal block, like a crack or a hole. Ultrasound is used in industry to clean hard to reach parts of objects such as spiral tubes, odd shaped machines, and electronic components. The object to be cleaned is placed in a cleaning solution, and ultrasonic waves are passed into the solution. Due to their high frequency, the ultrasound waves stir up the cleaning solution. Because of the stirring, the particles of dust and grease sticking to the dirty object vibrate too much, become loose, and get detached from the object and fall into the solution. The object thus gets cleaned thoroughly. Ultrasound is used to investigate the internal organs of the human body, such as liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidneys, uterus, and heart. Ultrasound waves can penetrate the human body, and different types of tissues like bones, fats, and muscles reflect the ultrasound wave in different ways. Due to these properties, ultrasound is being used increasingly in medical and surgical diagnosis in hospitals. Ultrasound waves are used to investigate the organs which are inside the human body. In a way, ultrasound helps us to see inside the human body by giving pictures of the inner organ. And let us see how this is done. The source of ultrasound wave is placed above the human body organ to be investigated. The ultrasound waves given out by this source enter the human body and are reflected from the organ. The reflected ultrasound waves are fed into a computer which builds up a picture of the organ concerned, which the doctors can see on the television type screen called monitors. This picture of the organ helps in the diagnosis of the ailment. The picture can also be obtained on a photographic film. The technique of obtaining pictures of internal organs of the body by using echoes of ultrasound pulses is called ultrasonography, and such pictures are called ultrasound scans. A machine which uses ultrasonic waves for obtaining images of the internal organs of human body is called ultrasound scanner. A doctor can take the ultrasound scan of a person's organ like liver, gallbladder, kidney, pancreas, and he can actually know what the problem is. It helps the doctor in the detection of stones in gallbladder and kidneys, tumors in different organs, and other ailments. Ultrasound is also used for diagnosing heart diseases, for detecting the motion of the heart wall, and even scanning the heart from inside. The use of ultrasound waves to investigate the action of the heart is called echocardiography. Ultrasound scans are used to monitor the development of fetus, that is, the unborn baby inside the mother's uterus. The ultrasound scanner transmits ultrasound to the mother's body and receives echoes formed by the reflection of ultrasound from inside. The ultrasound echoes form a picture of the developing baby on the monitor, which helps the doctor to keep a track of the developing baby. Thus, ultrasonography is used for the examination of fetus during pregnancy to detect any growth abnormalities. This helps in taking the necessary action to rectify the abnormalities. The ultrasound method is a safer way of checking whether the baby is developing normally or not than using X-rays, because X-rays can damage the delicate body cells of the unborn baby. Ultrasound is used to break kidney stones into fine grains, which then can be flushed out through urine. Sometimes tiny stones develop in the kidneys of patients which are very painful. Such patients can be treated with ultrasound. When high frequency ultrasound waves are directed on the stones in the kidney, the strong ultrasound vibration shake the stones so much that they ultimately break into fine grains. These fine grains of stone are so small that they pass out from the kidney along with urine, and the patient gets relief from the pain. The word sonar stands for sound navigation and ranging. Sonar is an apparatus or device which is used to find the depth of a sea or to locate the underwater things like shoals of fish, shipwrecks, and enemy submarines. Sonar works by sending short bursts of ultrasonic sound from a ship down into sea water, and then picking up the echo produced by the reflection of ultrasonic sound from underwater objects like bottom of sea, shoals of fish, shipwreck, or a submarine. The time taken for the echo to return to the ship is measured by the sonar apparatus. The distance or range of the underwater object is then calculated from the time taken by the echo to return. Thus, the time it takes for an echo to return is used to find out how far how far away something is. A sonar apparatus consists of two parts: a transmitter for emitting ultrasonic waves and a receiver for detecting ultrasonic waves. Now suppose a sonar device is attached to the underside of a ship and we want to measure the depth of the sea below the ship. To do this, the transmitter of sonar is made to emit a pulse of ultrasonic sound with a very high frequency, say of about 50,000 Hz. This pulse of ultrasonic sound travels down the sea water towards the bottom of the sea. When the ultrasonic sound pulse strikes the bottom of the sea, it is reflected back to the ship in the form of an echo. This echo produces an electrical signal in the receiver part of the sonar device. The sonar device measures the time taken by the ultrasonic sound pulse to travel from the ship to the bottom of the sea and back to the ship. In other words, the sonar measures the time taken by the echo to return to the ship. Half of this time gives the time taken by the ultrasonic sound to travel from the ship to the bottom of the sea. Knowing the time taken by the ultrasonic sound to go from the ship to the bottom of the sea and the speed of sound in water, we can calculate the distance between the ship and the bottom of the sea. This will give us the depth of the sea below the ship. Bats use ultrasound to fly at night without colliding with other objects and to search their prey like flying insects. In nature, the principle of sonar is used by bats for avoiding obstacles in their path and locating prey, that is food, while flying at night. We are aware that bats are nearly blind. The method used by some animals like bats, porpoises, and dolphins to locate the object by hearing the echoes of their ultrasonic squeaks is called echolocation. Bats fly in the darkness of night without colliding with other objects or obstacles by the method of echolocation. Bats emit high frequency ultrasonic squeaks while flying and listen to the echoes produced by the reflection of their squeaks from the objects or obstacles in their path. From the time taken by the echo to be heard, bats can judge the distance of the object or obstacle in their path and hence avoid it by changing the direction. Bats search their prey like flying insects at night by the method of echolocation. They emit high frequency ultrasonic squeaks while flying and listen to the echoes produced by the reflection of their squeaks from the prey like a flying insect. From the time taken by the echo to be heard, bats can judge the distance of the insect and hence catch it. Certain moths can, however, hear the high frequency ultrasonic squeaks of the bat. So, these moths can know when the bat is flying nearby and are able to escape being captured. The porpoises, which are mammals with a round snout, and dolphins also use the method of echolocation involving ultrasonic waves for underwater navigation and location of prey.